So I thought I'd share with you a session that I do with my 11-year-old dressage horse, Winston. He's working at PSG level. I really enjoy taking him on the gallops. I actually have a preference to ride him out here sometimes in the school. I love the different variety in it, and it's so nice to be outside. We have got an outdoor school, but I find sometimes that I end up a little bit too particular with him. Rather than here on the gallops, I can kind of let the flow happen, let little mistakes happen, and just work on it in a really relaxed way. He always tends to go really nicely here. I also work on my position. I'm working on all the time, working on and trying to improve my seat, my elbows, making sure my back's soft, things like that. And you'll see within the session the varying different things that I do. I start off with him, always start off just trotting and just working, making sure that he's loose. He's just really working for the relaxation to start with. I want to be able to make sure he doesn't have too much energy. I want him quite relaxed. Don't want to put too much power in to start with. You see me start to work a little bit shoulder 4. I personally use flexion, shoulder 4, things like that to really make him supple. And I tend to stick to the same kind of program to start with each day, but I work within slightly different or the same theme but slightly different varieties of that. You see, whatever I tend to do on the right, I tend to do on the left. I find him a little bit stiffer on the left. I always do the best side first. So personally, I always do my right side first and then I come to the left. So sort of build in the strengths and the good habits before I start working on the left side. So making sure that I warm him up properly and that I'm working on his stronger areas and trying to give him confidence rather than perhaps tackling the areas that are a bit more challenging to start with. You see me here, I use the shadow of the gallop rail and I'm just using it to make sure I'm straight. I play with things like this. I've got quite a good imagination as far as, I can use this. I can be able to use that rail to be able to help me. I can use the line to be able to help me and just measure where straight is for him. So straightness would be one of my really important sort of priorities with him, particularly at the level he works at. So trying to make sure that he's always got a really still contact. All the energy is always going forwards. Nose is being taken forwards. And as I say, in a relaxed way. I start to work some leg yields. I love doing this with the babies as well. I can work him left and right and working all the time on making sure that he's going off the leg in a really sort of just balanced, soft way. Checking as well a little bit, is he responding to the leg today, or do I need to make sure that he is a little bit quicker off the leg, and things that I can improve, and just sort of noticing how he's responding, and is he giving to the leg or is he a little bit against the leg today. Then I start to work towards some shoulder ins, and you'll see me using the shoulder in here on the line. It's great. So I've got something to really focus on to make sure, I'm not on a wall, I'm not in the school, I've got to work a long straight line there. And can I keep the same flexion, and can I increase the flexion sometimes? And then I change over to the right. Make sure it's really smooth. And can I, as I say, stay on this line? Can I make sure that everything stays just the same? And you'll see me, I focus on his ears quite a lot. Are the ears forward? Because that's really important to me. And are they still? That was a really lovely walk to canter transition. Always aim for stillness of contact and the frame. I start off in the canter, I need to make sure he's got enough power because we do so much canter in collection or collected canter. So I need to make sure the canter's got enough jump to it and enough engine. Also that he's got a good length of neck. So you'll see me quite frequently put the reins in one hand and just make sure that I'm sat really deep in the saddle, and the contact, really focusing on a still contact. Because ultimately I want him all the time just be travelling forward, leg to hand, making sure that he feels, I personally like a horse to be very soft in the contact, and so I spend hours upon hours improving it and making sure it's really still, really soft and really relaxed. I'm using again the line for straightness, playing around with that, making sure that actually, where he's straight for him within the changes, obviously, is absolutely paramount that he is straight in his body and that I can just change flexion easily and start to be able to move him around. But I've got complete control of left and right, and then when I need him to be straight and when I need him to have the bend. I use these rails here to really help with counter. Brilliant way to teach the horses changes as well on these gallops here. And I work the shoulder 4, gently putting his nose to the rail, really making sure that I've got him absolutely as I wish, and using the rails to help me there. I start to do a little bit of leg yield, play around, and I'm really focusing on putting a little bit of weight into the new stirrup, but very much making sure that my seat is level and staying balanced and even. Again, working a little bit, as I say, the leg yield. I really like this. It's a great way to be able to teach a horse to be able to start to activate them before changes as well, making sure that he doesn't have any bend, but making sure, he's absolutely straight. Within him changing direction, so within him going left and right, his body is always staying straight and nose always staying forward. Again, using this line, using the shadow to be able to help me. Back to practice a simple change. Could do loads of simple changes up here. Really lucky that these gallops are 2.5 furlongs long. So I've got plenty of long straight line to be able to use, to be able to help me within my transitions. And quite often I'll be going forwards and back, making sure that I've, can activate the canter and make the canter wait, but focusing absolutely on where is the nose straight, or have I got a tiny bit of flexion over the leading leg? And just focusing all the time on the contact. Is he straight? Is he soft? Is he going off the leg? Is he still really even in both reins? Can I be soft with the hand? What happens when I soften the hand? Does he stay in the same frame? The time working and sort of analysing, right, what needs to be better and how can I keep changing it? And when I've got this lovely self-carriage, brilliant. Okay, now I'm going to start to move the canter along a little bit. I need to make more activity because I want to be able to all the time develop his paces and make him have cadence, energy and more strength. So working him really like trying to think almost like a bodybuilder all the time. So what power can I put in, and then when does he need to relax? Okay, so you see me pat him. I actually pat him a lot, and it was nice seeing this video because actually I appreciated how much I do just be able to stop, give him a pat, give him a break. He really tries hard. I've never had a horse that's enjoyed dressage quite so much, and he is so diligent. So to be able to give him a stop and have a break, and the muscle groups do get tired. They get obviously making them stronger. There's a certain element of duration that have to be increased, but at the same time they also need to be able to be relaxed. I spend a lot of time on the walk. After having tankers down, I realised that I needed to spend more time shortening the walk and changing the reins and then lengthening again. And this gallops is a brilliant place to be able to do it. So I make sure they walk and they're stretching and all the time. Yeah, you can see he's using this line again to be able to help him. I want him to march and seek the contact, but in a relaxed way, so he has stride length and ground cover. And I'd always warm him down with a good walk. So I think I'd probably put a good 10 minutes walk into now my sessions, which would be a maximum session for him would be around 45 minutes.